Hello and welcome to my live. I'm Ethel. I'm so excited today. I have a special guest today. She's called Peace. Have you here? And yes, so we'll have a conversation on mental health. So my first question is, what inspired you to start your organization? I was really looking forward to hearing that.
Okay. Um, what inspired me to start the organization? I would say it's someone that I met that made me start this organization. Actually, it was in Burkina Faso. I was working with an orphanage, and there was this baby that was just 1 week old when I met her. She was brought to the orphanage, and the baby, I got so close and so attached to the baby that I used to call her my baby. Her name was Sarah. And with time, we realized that the baby had HIV,
Oh,
and she had, how do you call it in English? We call it hypertrophy du cœur. It means the heart is oversized.
yeah.
And she had also, she couldn't see, she was blind. And at first, I didn't really put any like story around the baby because I felt like, okay, maybe she was abandoned and she's in the orphanage. And after 9 months, Sarah passed away.
Oh
And
no.
that created in me like some kind of rage because I was like, I couldn't help her. I didn't know what was going on with her, what happened to her, where she's coming from. And there was nothing I could do to help her. So I tried to know Sarah's story, and that's when they told me that she's the daughter of a woman that was suffering from mental illness, was roaming the streets of Ouagadougou, and was probably raped to
Oh,
before she got Sarah. And since she didn't get any medical care throughout her pregnancy, that made her to have Sarah with all those medical conditions. So when they told me that story, that removed really the veil that I had on my eyes regarding people living with mental illness, because throughout my life at that time, I used to feel like when I see people living with mental illness, I didn't necessarily turn my eyes to them. I didn't mind, I didn't care. I was like, it's their life. And just like that, something changed in me, and I decided to do something regarding mental health. So I started to read, to do research, to know more about it. And I took years to start the first step because that was in
yeah,
2013.
yeah.
2015, I did a master's in public health, which included mental health. And I was like, I wanted to do more about it, but I didn't know from where to start. And I remember the first action that I did was to just take my clothes that I wasn't wearing anymore, and I decided to go to the psychiatric hospital here in my country when I got back. And when I went there, there was another person that I met there that really confirmed to me that this is what I wanted to do. I went to the mental health hospital, and I was going around visiting the people, and I heard someone calling my name. The person was in the place where, in the mental hospitals here, there are some parts where people that they feel that they are agitated, they put them. And while I was passing there, I heard someone calling my name from the cells there.
Yeah.
And I turned my head, and it was one guy that was my high school friend. And that confirmed to me, like, I was like, I needed to do something. And I asked him, what are you doing here? And actually, he was there due to addiction to drugs. So from there, I was like, I needed to do something because it's not far from me. It's not people that I do not know. It's not people, it can happen to anyone. It can happen to me. I can have a mental problem. Anyone around me can have that issue. But how do we respond to it? Do we abandon them? Do we give them love?
Mm-hmm.
Do we try to give them the best, or do we let them just like that? Because here in Togo, during my research, I realized that a lot of people are kind of chained because they are like, okay, they don't know how to deal with them. They don't know how to take care of them. They don't know the possibilities that are there. So some of them are being chained in prayer camps or in covens, and their situations in those places are really terrible. So I decided to do this, and yeah, I started with my clothes, and today we are here.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, but what you were saying about some people don't realize it's a massive problem until it's happening to, let's say, their family members or they themselves or even friends, right? They don't
Yeah,
realize that help. So, for instance, with mental health advocacy as well, usually it's something personal or someone personal to you. Then you start to think about it, because that's what with me as well. When I then decided to be in advocacy, is because I struggled mentally at some point, and I thought to myself, wow, imagine how much people are struggling out there, right? And then I started thinking as well, and then reading, and obviously through therapy, I was like, oh my goodness, so many people are struggling, and some can't talk about it, or they don't know how to deal with their family members or friends. So but it shouldn't, it shouldn't take us getting to that point, should it? But
exactly.
it does a lot of
A
the
lot
time.
of people are not understood, and when you are struggling with a mental problem, most people, especially as Africans, we don't know the right words to put on it. There are some things you are feeling, there's a way you are feeling, but we don't have a word. Even in our African languages, we don't have a particular word to describe what we are feeling. So it's so complicated to say, we've not been educated even to talk about emotions. So you don't know how to express it. You don't know how to tell people, I have this issue, I have this issue. So a lot of people keep it to themselves because they are scared of not being understood.
Exactly. And I think it's because we don't make it look like it's okay to have it. We make it look like only it's an extreme disease of some sort, rather than understanding that any challenge you have, you could possibly have that because you could be stressed.
Exactly.
But people don't want it's just that stigma, isn't it? It's
Exactly.
shame.
And the moment you talk about, the problem is here when you start talking about, oh, I'm not feeling okay, they're like, you're behaving like a white person. Or you start saying you are going to therapy, they're like, therapy is for white people. When you get to the stage where you are really into the illness, you are, maybe you are having psychosis, or you are really starting to have behavioral challenges. At that point, people will be like, oh, this time I think this is a spiritual disease. So like, they don't make it okay for someone to ask for help. In
Yeah.
each way, it's complicated.
And I think the issue is not starting it from the beginning as well. Like if someone says I'm struggling, and for instance what you said, they like, oh, this isn't something we should deal with in Africa or whatever, and then it then becomes extreme, then they're like, oh, that person's acting crazy. But it's like, you're not supporting it in the initial stages to get them to talk to somebody, which is
Exactly.
therapy. They think it's not, I guess, not as important, but I'm sure you've got examples of how therapy has helped people as well. So maybe
Of
people
course.
listen to that as
Of
well.
course. A lot of people feel like, therapy is, they don't see the relevance actually of therapy. A lot of people feel like, they make a difference between, when you, at least when you go to a doctor, they write you medication, they write exams that you're supposed to do, etc., etc. But when it comes to therapy, maybe you just sit, you talk with someone, they give you some exercises that you do back home with people. And a lot of people feel like, that is like, why should I pay for that? That is nothing. I can just do this with my best friend, just sit down and chat. So they feel like it's not relevant. So even the job of a therapist is not really taken seriously here. That's why I normally say a lot to a lot of people here is that we have a lot of people that are studying psychology and things like that, but they are not being used. Nobody is really going to see
Yeah.
them. So there's really a huge job of awareness raising that needs to be done here for a lot of people to understand what it is to go to therapy. What is the benefit of going to therapy? A lot of people feel you need to be ill before going to see a therapist. But the thing is, sometimes you have relational problems, you go see a therapist. Sometimes you're trying to figure out yourself or understand yourself, you go see a therapist. We are in the end of the year. Everyone is trying to do a review of his year. You can go to a therapist to do a review, an emotional review of yourself, to see where you are. So sometimes we try to belittle, you know, therapy as if it's not something that can help, but it's something that helps a lot of people, and we really need to take it seriously.
Exactly, because I have talked about going to therapy. When I went, it was because I had a relationship breakdown, and obviously it was a new situation for me. So it was sort of like adapting to my life again, right? So you need to know whether you're actually doing well and what tools you need. So those struggles, okay, how can I make myself happy again? Do you know what I mean? So they teach you, okay, this is the area you're struggling. This is what you should do to help you in that area. You know, you find activities you enjoy. Like if you're struggling with cooking and cleaning, cognitive behavior therapy, whatever you're struggling that's bringing up your depressive mood. But obviously you have to do the work when you go to therapy. So people think that it's just talking, but they give you certain things, like I'll call it homework in a way, like, okay, this is what you enjoyed. I want you to go and sign up to these activities. So next time they'll ask you, okay, what activities did you sign up for and how did you find it? So it's giving you things to do that would help you. But I don't know. I think people just don't realize that it's not just talking. There's a lot more to it. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't really see that, you know, they just feel, you know, and I see it more as people don't want to pay for that, you know.
Mm.
If some people today, they are starting to be open to talking, to going to see a therapist,
Mm.
but they don't see it as something important. They see it like, okay, I can just go and see my friend and you know, just chat, and they see it as the same. They're not seeing the scientific work that is being done
Exactly.
behind. They don't see that side of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't see the relevance. They just feel, okay, you want me to go and sit with someone and talk, no problem, I can do that, but you can't expect me to pay for that. And that's making that a lot of people don't even want to study, you know, psychology, for instance, because they feel like it's not a good field, or a lot of people do not need that.
Mm-hmm.
And when here, for instance, when you just wake up and say, okay, I need to go and see a therapist for this, or in your relationships, you decide to see a therapist for maybe a challenge you are having,
Exactly.
a lot of people just see it like, hey, white girl, you know, like, you know, they see you like, hey, you are just bluffing, or I don't know. So it's
Mm.
kind of complicated. We need to, I think with time, it has to get into our behaviors, into our natural way of living. A lot of people are suffering in silence, but they don't know that their solution is in therapy. Some people, they wouldn't have got deep into illness till developing psychosis
Mm.
and getting into schizophrenia and all those things if
Exactly.
they have started with therapy. Some people are in so much pain. They are going through a lot of things. They've lost people. They've gone through divorce. They are going through pain. They are going through so many terrible things, but
Yeah.
they can't talk to anyone, and they just feel I can deal with it with myself. People have gone through worse and they've done this, and you know, by doing that, they are just digging their own hole and getting deeper and deeper into the illness.
Mm.
And it starts like that. You see someone slowly, the person is retracting it himself, and nobody knows what is going on. Nobody cares. They don't see the signs. And some people, it is until the person has committed suicide that they realize, oh, you know, I saw the sign. There was a time he was talking this way, and I was like, why are you talking this way? But they didn't take it seriously. That is why awareness raising is so important in the field of mental health today. People need to hear the truth. People need to know the truth.
I agree. I like that we're just so real on here. Like we're
Yeah.
talking about certain situations that, you know, someone is likely to go to therapy, like you said, divorce and, well, relationship breakdown, emotionally, if you're not feeling well, you know, all those signs, right? But
Yeah.
the thing, if certain signs have stigma attached, like divorce and the rest, even people are already, they just feel shunned away. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, so
Exactly.
it's basically all these stigmas that's making people not want to seek help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. A lot of stigma, you know. Some people, they are going through some situations that, you know, already the situation makes it not to feel like talking to anyone.
Yeah.
The situation makes it like, you know, you are alone in your own world. But it's at that moment that you need to ask for help. I remember in my organization, there was this man. He came to me once, and was surprised. I even had tears on my eyes, because when the person came, the person was like, for years I've been struggling with this, and I helped my mom that was having mental illness. I used all I had to take her to the hospital, but with time I lost everything that I had. And today I'm just realizing, it took me 3 years to realize that actually I myself am going through a mental health problem. I'm not fine, and I didn't know how to ask for help, but today I have decided to ask for help. When the person said that, I had tears in my eyes, because I was like, a man like that,
Mm.
that could take that bold step, because you see he struggled with that for so long. He struggled with it for 3 years, and he lost everything, and he has got to the stage where he realized, it's better I decide to ask for help. It's better I take that step to come out of that situation. And that was a bold step. Not many people would do that. Not many people would take that bold step of speaking and trying to get help for something that is not seen. Because when we talk about mental illness or mental health issues, you can be like this, you are not okay, but nobody is seeing it. Nobody is seeing anxiety on my face.
Yeah.
Nobody is seeing a depression on my
Mm.
face. Nobody is seeing suicidal thoughts on my face. But someone can be going through all those things and be sitting next to you, and you wouldn't even know that the person is going through so many challenges. That is why it's so much important to speak out, that people realize that, even what people may think it's something very little, you can
Mm.
speak up about it, because what is little to the other person is not little to me. And everybody has his own way of experiencing things.
Mm-hmm.
Someone may fail at an exam and not care about it, but someone else may fail at an exam and feel like his whole life is going down. And in that situation, the person shouldn't feel bad to ask for help, because the person will be, the other person didn't ask for help, and you, what is it? You don't need to compare your pain with anyone else's pain. Our
Yes.
pain is, everybody's pain is valid. Everybody's situation is valid. You can ask for help.
It's like what I always say, everyone's trauma is different. One person,
Exactly.
something will happen, they over it within a day. Another person, it could take years. So yes, I think we have to also get to the point of accepting that someone's pain, as she said, and trauma is theirs. So support them. Don't say, oh really, that's nothing. Why are you stressed about it? I think it's the understanding people's feelings that I think more education as well should be done, to take people seriously if they say they're in pain, rather than just saying, oh, like if drinking alcohol, just say stop drinking. But that's not how it
Exactly. Or we just say, oh, you are depressed, or get out of there, get out of the depression. You can't just snap someone out of depression.
they need.
A lot of people just feel depression is a feeling. Depression is an illness. And the moment you understand that, the moment you help better the person that is going through such situation, because we just tell people, you are the person is going through depression or having this, and you're like, oh, just get out, like just wake up and let's go. The person motivation doesn't come just like that. The person, you can't just tell the person, you can do great things, and you start giving motivational speech, and the person will stand up.
It doesn't.
When you are depressed, you are depressed. And it's a discussion we need to be having, especially also in churches and in communities, because we make it feel like it's something that shouldn't exist, but the truth is that it exists.
Yeah.
And we need to face it. Everybody is not the same. All our fingers are not the same.
Exactly.
We need to be able to help those that are going through such situation to get back on their feet. It's not by giving them Bible verse that they are going to come out of the situation. We need to find the right words. We need to help them get through therapy. We need to help them stand on their feet. Yeah. And, we've made it in a way that a lot of people just feel, there's no need going to these people to ask for help. While when you're in a community, you want to feel completely at home, to feel loved. The person needs to understand your pains as well. The person needs to know that you are there. But if automatically you are expressing a pain, and they feel like, that one is not valid in this community. You can't say you are depressed. You can't. What are you talking about? Why would you go into therapy? A Christian should go through therapy.
Exactly.
You have this. That doesn't make sense. Actually, even pastors are counselors in a certain way, and most of them need to also learn how to help people go through therapy.
Yes, they need.
That's what they should do.
Yeah. But I feel that in regards to churches and pastors, automatically they assume that they're counselors. But the thing is, with counseling, you do need special skill set as well. You can't just, I understand obviously using religion because it can make you feel better, but it should come hand in hand, because there are certain things that the mind is doing that it will be good to understand. And if some people just obviously value religion, it would be nice if obviously the pastors also understand that element, to understand that depression, sometimes the person needs to be understood a certain way. And if they trust you as a religious figure only, it would be nice if you can also get that training for them to come to you, rather than them not going to therapy but then not getting the support in church as well, or any religious aspect. So I think that's what's missing as well.
Exactly. And taking care of your mental health needs to be holistic. Every part of life needs to get in. It needs to be emotional, spiritual, medical, and whatever. So everyone has to put hand in hand to help you go through it. But if you are going through a certain situation and you value so much your religion or your church or your community, and you don't get that help, it's even bringing you down, because a lot of people don't get even the strength to ask for help somewhere else, because they feel this is where I normally get the help that I need. But if the people that are supposed to help you do not even understand what you are going through, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's really terrible.
But
a lot of people suffer like that. A lot of people are in churches, and they think they are going through some things, but the truth is they just need therapy. They just need help. They just need to be understood.
Yeah.
They just really need that right help that they need.
Yeah. I think also the issue is, right, these, let's say, churches or some religious figures don't want to admit that they don't know that aspect. That's the problem. And the community, if they don't admit that, the community too is fine with it. Because imagine you've grown up and that's all you know, and it feels like therapy is something, a new concept coming to you. You're like, we've lived hundreds of years without this. What's this? That's how it feels.
Exactly.
So,
And a lot of churches really need to, I think, even in the training of pastors, they really need to get that also part of it, this kind of therapy, knowing how to, and even if they can't study psychology or things like that, at least they should know how to refer people. They should have people at hand that they trust, that maybe are Christians, that have the same values as them, that they can refer those people to, so they can get the right help. You see, because most times also a lot of people feel, you're going to therapy and you don't know the value of you don't know the values of the therapist you are going to. But the truth is that it's important. A lot of, the way the life is going today, the way like the whole things are so complicated. Everyday life is getting harder and harder. We are having terrible situations. A lot of things are happening. People are dying. We are having terrible disease. Sometimes you start a business and from nowhere situations come and then you lose everything. The way those things are going, it's getting on people's mental health. That's why mental health is supposed to be something so important. It needs to be a priority in everything that we do, because whether we like it or not, mental health is part of every part of our lives, whether our academic life, our family life, professional life, every part of our life, mental health is there. So if we do not take it seriously enough, we won't be able to go out of this kind of situations. That's why churches need to take it seriously and make it like at least know that if someone is sick or someone is having an issue, because today when we talk about mental health, a lot of people start thinking it's just the mental illness, or it's just no. Somebody can just be here, have relational have problem with anger. Someone can just have problem with A lot of things
Yeah.
that you can go and see a therapist, and sometimes it's the accumulation of all those things that get you into the illness. So to be able to prevent it, a lot of people need to know how to take care of themselves, but also they need to be able to ask for help when the moment is there.
Exactly. The thing is, so how do we then get these churches to understand that it's important? Like, your organization, do you do work on that as well? Or
It's really complicated. It's really complicated, but we did mainly, we had in 2019 a roundtable with all actors of mental health. So we had we had pastors that have prayer camps where they keep people that are chained and things like that. We had psychiatrists, we have psychologists, we had traditional doctors, all sat around the table and discussed. And we had all of them talked about how they take care of such issues. And I noticed that the pastors also, they realize, okay, you know, it's something we can work on. You know, we probably need training, we need more awareness raising, and there are lots of things that need to be done. But since then, it's true that there's still a lot that needs to be done. But I believe that when we give them the right informations, they will be able to include it more into what they need to do, you know. But it's a huge field that really needs, you know, because you know how conservative we are in churches. We, like, the moment you start opening the door a little bit to something like that, some people may think you are less spiritual, or you are not this, or you do not believe in the healing power of Jesus. But that's not it, actually. We all believe. I believe so much that Jesus heals, and I've seen him healing so many times. But it doesn't mean that Jesus cannot heal through a therapist. Sometimes the problems needs to come from within. And the truth is, you need to understand yourself. It's not just about healing you and not having any knowledge at the back of it. You need the knowledge, and the knowledge helps you to heal. And who helps you through that is the therapist, because there are some things people will not tell you the truth. Sometimes there are some things your eyes won't go to it, you know. Maybe by doing some activities. One day I remember I was talking with my psychiatrist, and he asked me at that time, I was so stressed, going through a lot of things, and he asked me, can you tell me 10 activities of pleasure that you have? And I couldn't. Can you imagine? I couldn't count. I didn't know what to say. I said, going to church. He said, that's not part of it, you know. And I was like, what activity do I do to really you know, go down? How do I take care of myself, you know? And from that moment I realized, you know, Peace, you need to take care of yourself. You know, we have a body, we have a soul, and we are a spirit, okay. But we need to take care of those three parts of ourselves. And if we do not take care of all those things, we are going deep down. Our soul keeps so many things, pains, and everything is there. And I believe even if we talk about spirituality, healing, it's something that is spiritual. Healing. They said Jesus is here to heal our wounds as well. So I believe healing our wounds is not just by, you know, just putting the hand on me and I'm going to be healed from my wounds.
Exactly.
It starts from going deep down, going to my past, for instance, things that have hurt me, forgiveness, those things. Those are the things that therapists can help you to do. They help you go through forgiveness, forgiving and forgiving self. Most times we talk about forgiving others, but sometimes what do we talk about forgiving ourselves? In the church, it's true, we talk about forgiving others all the time and everything. But sometimes when you do a sin, or you fall into a sin that you never thought you could fall in, and you know how hard we are on ourselves, and then you do not know how you got yourself into that sin, the process to forgive yourself is huge. And sometimes, yeah, you may need a therapist.
It's that judgment space.
Exactly. Because there's a big guilt that comes in your heart. You're like, how did I put myself in this situation? How am I gonna be? How are people gonna be looking at me? Maybe they saw me as the most spiritual person. They saw me as a model. They saw me as the person that never had any problem. And from nowhere, I'm in this situation. How do I get myself, I'm ashamed of myself. And even if everybody's telling me, you know, don't worry, you know, it's gonna be fine, what about myself? What about the guilt about myself? It's difficult. So you need therapy. You need, sometimes some people may go through it alone. No problem, that's them. But
Peace, you press the mute button. Peace, unmute it. Unmute your button. Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, the mute button was accidentally pressed, but yeah,
Okay.
that's cool. Yeah. But
There was a call coming in.
Tech. But anyway, what you're saying, right? It makes so much sense because you know, just shame alone can put you in a depression. Is that because this thing where whether we like it or not, we like society's approval, which I've always said, you know, that's why therapy is important, because you need to go and get a different perspective, because someone something and feeling like, oh my god, I'm getting judged, you know, with especially religion and everything, I did this, and you know, like let's say divorce for instance, like people be like, oh my god, you're not supposed to, you know, that whole, if you're from that background and it's happened, it's like you can't forgive yourself. But some people do, let's say because of abuse, you've got your reason, it's for yourself, right? It's for your happiness, but then you can't seem to let go because of that aspect. So for instance, that whole therapy would help your mindset, you know, understand. But some people don't see it that way, isn't it? Like, is that shame? I'm putting shame.
That big shame, that it's like you're carrying it around and nobody's understanding you. And to let go of that shame, sometimes you can't do it alone. We just need to see it like, you know, in the physical right now. If I carry a big baggage, you know, and I'm carrying it, struggling with it, people would come and know, oh, you need help, let me help you carry it. But when it's inside, internal, and you are carrying that big baggage, suffering, people do not see it, and they just look at you like, and rather add to it, you know, add guilt, add judgment, add things to it, and it even hits you more. And that's what brings a lot of people into having even more and more mental illnesses, you know. So it's really a very important topic.
Yeah, they don't realize it's the shame and judgment that's part of it. Sometimes
They
they don't. But when you then go to therapy, you uncover that it's actually because you care what people think. That's why you're so miserable.
Exactly.
If you
Exactly.
move on with your life and stop caring, that would help you as well. So sometimes you don't realize the problems, and you go and you talk to somebody who's actually, you know, qualified to talk to you. So it's not just talking, it's about them unpacking and asking the right questions. And you know what was interesting when you talked about the activity that you couldn't remember doing when the psychologist asked you, that's common with a lot of people. Like I know in Africa, some people don't have hobbies. They just go to work, come home, cook, clean. Like they don't have something to do for fun. So if you say, find something you do for fun, sometimes some people be like, oh, like I just talk to my friends. Like, but you're supposed to you can find free activities to do for fun. Like
that was me. When he asked me, I thought it was so easy, and I said, then I realized, peace, you don't. I used to go to work, come back, go to church, come back, and that was it. My life was just church, house, and the office, and that was all. Then I realized, you know, it's important for balance, for life balance, to be able to have activities, to know, okay, I do exercise, and even to take care of your mental health. A lot of people need to know how to take care of your mental health. The same way you take care of your physical health, you need to take care of your mental health by doing exercise. You know, at least you have to exercise and you feel good with yourself. You know what makes you happy. You know, at some point I had to understand that I have, like, in me, many cups. That's how I call it. I have the cup for my emotional cup. I have my physical cup. I have my professional cup. I need to fill all those things. My spiritual cup. So I know sometimes, oh, I'm empty when it comes to my spiritual life. I really need to go back to my source, and I really do what I need to do to get there. Also, when I feel that I'm emotionally, I'm dead, and like I feel like I'm so empty. I really need more this thing. I know I need to spend time with this person or this person, with friends or family, and etc, etc. So those things are important to do. Listen to yourself. A lot of people do not listen to themselves. When they start feeling down, they don't know exactly what is the problem. But I have learned at some point to realize, oh, at this point, maybe I should write to this person, maybe go have a drink with this person. It will make me feel good. And I just talk and laugh and spend time, and it makes me happy.
Yeah.
Or professionally speaking, I feel I'm giving too much time to my maybe family and everything. I'm too much into those things, and my mind is not really on my work properly. I do give back the space, but everything needs to be balanced at some point in my life.
And I think that's what people don't understand, right? It's that when you go to therapy, you learn certain things. Like you're saying, like I also learned a lot in regards to how you should be treated, different things. You learn a lot about, how to deal with situations that you probably didn't realize you were not dealing with properly, how to give yourself that peace, that joy. As you said, when you're miserable, what do you do to make yourself feel better? When you feel lonely, how do you deal with that?
Exactly.
It gives so many things to learn from. So even when you post certain topics, some people think, oh, she's just posting, we should find hobbies. What's that all about? You know what? But it's like, no, it's actually supposed to help you. You're supposed to have a variety of things, like you said, filling your cup to help you spiritually, mentally, physically. If you can't pay for the gym, have a walk. Go to the park. There are free things. It doesn't have to be expensive, isn't it? So
exactly. And some people, it's also very important to know your limits. A lot of people, whether it's in work, wherever they are, it's like they overwork themselves. They give too much. And sometimes they don't know the limits. It's like you are here, you need to at least set boundaries to yourself in some field. You need to set boundaries, know that, okay, I think it's enough for right now. I need to think of myself. I'm the kind of person, especially regarding my work, that at some point I was like, every time it was about others, doing this for everybody, thinking about everybody. And I remember I was in a training in the US at some point, and they said, there was a question that they asked me, and they said, after helping everybody, because they call me, I want to change the world. I was like, after helping everybody, after thinking about everybody, who thinks about you?
So you also need to make yourself
that
priority.
Question, honestly, it shook me in a way that I realized, who thinks about me? What am I doing about myself? What am I thinking of myself? Am I thinking about what I need to do for myself? And it's at that point that I decided, oh, I need to think of myself also. I need to take care of myself. I need to also, because whether we like it or not, we want to help people, but we are also human beings. You can't spend your life thinking about others. You need to think about yourself as well, because you are going to empty yourself. You only give what you have. If you are filled of love, you would give more love. But if you are empty of love, what are you still giving? You are going to be frustrated, and you are going to destroy your life. And that is taking you deep into mental problems. So it is so important to, understand and see, right now I'm becoming empty. I need to go and get more love. I need to go and get more strength to be able to fight the battles that I'm fighting, because you can't do without it. We are important as well. And that thing I'm always telling people everywhere that I go, you need to take care of yourself. Some people may think you are selfish. Some people may think you are this, but you know all what you are doing for others, and God knows it. That's the most important thing. Apart from that, set your boundaries. No, okay, I've done enough for today. I can't overwork myself. I'm not going to kill myself. I have a Nigerian friends that tell me that you are not El Shaddai. do not kill yourself. You are not God. You cannot help you cannot help
No, you
everybody.
can't help.
Just do your best. Just do what you can do.
Yeah.
And at that point, I just understood that, and I'm like, there are some cases that come and I do not have the ability to help them. And I'm like, sometimes at the beginning, I used to be like, want to shake everything, kill myself to find help for people. But if I can't, I can't. And I know that I've done what I can do. That's it. If I get, glory be to God. If I don't get, it's fine. So that is also something very important to look at.
Yeah. So what do you think is the tipping point for people to now realize they need mental health support? Do you think it's got to that end of losing everything, or what do you think makes them then decide?
I think what people need is the moment you don't understand yourself, the moment you're having at least other signs will be you are not sleeping properly, the moment you are not okay. And one thing is, some people, they may be sleeping okay and everything, but they just know something is wrong in them. You may need help. The moment you don't understand yourself, you can't put any word on what is happening to you. You can't put a name on it. Go seek for help. I don't understand myself. And with the help of the therapist, you go on the problem. But the thing is, a lot of people just feel, okay, I'm not okay. I don't know what it is. Sometimes you wake up, you don't know what is the problem.
Exactly.
You are just not okay. Sometimes anxiety, I had time really to really experience this anxiety, you know. At some point I had panic attacks, you know. You just hear your heart is just, you know, you don't know what is happening. Right now we are here. If a lion gets into your room, you're gonna be, you know. And sometimes my case is, I'm here, there's no lion getting in the room, but my heart is like the lion is here, you know. And some people don't understand that.
They don't.
And how would you explain that to someone? My heart is, you know, I used to say my heart is, you know, it's just, and people won't understand. But if you go to a therapist or a mental health professional, he would know exactly what you're talking about. So that is it. I think when you have something you can't understand, some people, if they are not sleeping properly, some people, they're having anxiety problems. Some people, they just don't know. They are scared for no reason.
Exactly.
Ask for help. Sometimes something may happen on the moment. I will be so, like, everybody will think I will be angry. On the moment, I'm not going to feel anything. I'll just look at them like this. The next morning when I wake up, my whole heart is like, you know, I'm feeling the anger or the pain I'm supposed to feel. I was supposed to feel the day before. I start feeling it that day, the next morning. So those things are also very important. A lot of people do not know, and then they just live with it. Some people will say, oh, it's spiritual. Maybe something is going to happen right now. Actually, it's not. You need to make the difference between those things. So to be able to understand, it's very important to at least work with a therapist and someone that has the same values as you, because a lot of people are also scared of therapists because they don't want to go and see someone that doesn't really have the same values and would talk to them in ways that are going to bring them far away from their faith. But there are also a lot of people that have the same faith with you that are very good therapists that will be based on the Bible or whatever document that they use in your faith and help you go forward. So those are the things that are very important.
And what I was going to say is, like, people don't realize that, for instance, me and you and other people that just don't have, I don't know, experience of therapy written all over their faces. They think, oh, they've never struggled. They think like mental health is, as she said, seeing someone in Africa in chains, walking around with ripped clothes or something. Like, it's been put in a lot of people's mind that that's mental health, and that's not it. Someone walking on the street looking all good and glamorous could be struggling. So I think that's also something
we will
understand.
Shock people by saying a lot of people, like a lot. I see a lot of people every day and I'm like, oh, this person is going through a lot, you know. Some people, you just have to talk with them and then you are like, oh, this person is struggling, this person is having it. But the person will never accept. It feels like, oh, that's the way I am, that's the way I am. And that's how the world is becoming. Everybody is becoming cold. You're becoming cold, you're becoming, you know. But the truth is that you're going through a lot. You need to understand it and ask for help. And normally a lot of therapists are supposed to have a lot of work to do, but they are, especially here, they don't have anything to do because people are not going to them. People are struggling. The truth is that people are suffering. People are suffering so much. People
Yeah.
are suffering, and we are talking. I'm sure most of the people probably listening to us have gone through at some point of their life a mental health issue. Maybe naturally
Yep.
they develop some kind of resilience, but not everybody automatically develops resilience.
I agree.
Sometimes you need help. You need to
Yeah.
understand. Some people it's through a book. Some people it's through, realizing. Some people it's that they really need someone to help them
Ex-
and tell them what they need to hear and help them through exercises and follow up.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll be going through something while your solution is just next to you. Just go to the therapist and listen to what the person has to tell you. And you see that it's not anything difficult. It's not anything that is going to kill you. Just that question of activities or hobbies that you have is something that will bring, like we are talking about it right now. But the truth is, a lot of people are going to sit back, ask themselves the question and realize, oh my God. And that is therapy to them. That
Exactly.
is their therapy in the moment. They are realizing, because therapy is just hearing something, realizing and making the step. Realizing, oh, I have this issue. Oh,
Yeah.
this is why. Why am I behaving the way I'm behaving? Maybe something happened in my past. Maybe the person will ask you some questions that will bring you back to something that happened. And then you realize, oh, this thing really shocked me. Maybe I didn't realize in the moment, but that thing happened.
Yeah.
How did I know that when I'm having anxiety, for instance, it is that when I'm scared, and I don't know what is making me scared, I need to look back and see maybe something happened the day before or 2 days before. It is through therapy. It is through therapy that I realized that. And today when something like that is happening, I'm like, okay, that's what happened. So I try to talk to myself and say, okay, it's because that thing happened 2 days ago. And I try to talk to myself, and slowly I get better. But if before I didn't know, and it gets worse, I start having panic attacks, I start having difficulties to breathe. I need to, while the solution is somewhere.
So obviously therapy helped you in the sense of it helped you understand why you were struggling, right? And then how to deal with it.
Exactly.
And you had to get to that point. So what made you get to that point of going to therapy?
What made me actually knowing that I've been in the mental health, as I told you, since 2013, I started really reading things about it, mental health every day. Anything mental health is all that I wanted.
Yeah.
So I was just all over mental health, but I never put myself in it. Like, it was always about other people. It was always about, okay, it's everybody else, but not me. And I remember, always thinking about the others and not thinking about me. But the moment I really started to do that is through a discussion with my psychiatrist. And that was the moment, I think that was the wake-up call, because there are some discussions we had that really got in my head. And also the training in the US and all those things that made me realize, actually, Peace, you may be having an issue. And I think it's really the fact that I'm in contact with all those people.
That's
And I think by going through, and some people, when telling me their issues or the problems they're having with mental health, I just realize, oh, I've gone through that, and it helps me help them better.
I agree.
So today, because I've also experienced a lot when it comes to mental health, when someone talks, it makes the person feel okay with me, because he feels like, okay, this person understands me exactly. She's not just talking about, okay, you need to do this, you need to do this, but I speak about it from a place of experience also, and I know exactly what it is. Sometimes you just don't have the strength to go forward. Sometimes you don't know. We are talking, but the truth is we are all just human beings.
We go
And
through
life is
changes. Life
exactly,
happens.
and life is breaking. Life breaks us in so many ways. Whether you like it or not, at some point in your life there will be troubles, and if you are not prepared, you are gonna be, because for instance, who goes into marriage hoping that the person is gonna go through divorce? Nobody goes into that. Everybody goes into it happily, with pictures and every hopes and everything, feeling that, hey, I am the one, I'm married and everything. And then just like that, you just go through divorce. And it's not like a dream. It's like a nightmare. Your dream that became a nightmare. Somebody
You're
that you
right.
loved
You're
that you can't even recognize anymore.
yeah.
And when it's like that, your emotions are broken, and a lot of things happen. Just is just at the same as someone that has, you know, so many wounds all over his body, and it's the same thing. So I think people need to be more, it's because people are not caring enough, people are not loving enough. We need to go back to the source and love each other, realize that people are going through things, love people, help them, you know.
My dear, that's what I've been talking about, healthy relationships. But again, people on the platform will probably think I'm making noise, but it's like we need to learn to really treat each other better, like in
Exactly.
relationships, in marriages. I mean, the other day, a lot of people don't talk to each other and they're married. Like,
Exactly.
come on, it's not right, is it? You know, the love needs to be there. It's again, we're not teaching each other that we want this to last. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
love each other. And I know it might sound crazy, but it's again, maybe that, I don't know if that marriage counseling is not done in a way that it's supposed to. I really don't know, because the divorce rate is high and
It's so
high,
high.
and because of behavioral problems. And it's not making marriage enjoyable for people.
Exactly.
And how do you teach people to love each other? It's crazy.
Yeah, I think life itself, as I said, it's
Yeah.
becoming more and more difficult, and people are having mental health issues, and they are bringing it into the marriage. You know, a lot of people are having behavioral problems. Some people, you know, you've grown with so much anger in you, and
Mm.
you've not taken time to notice the anger.
Yeah.
You've grown with hatred towards women, for instance, or towards men, and you never noticed it until you are in a marital relationship where you have to be seeing the person every day. You know, a lot of people have gone through so many things. You know, whether you like it or not, I'm here. I have wounds in
Mm.
me that maybe it's only in a particular situation that the wound may come out.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like marriage emphasizes in a lot of ways those kind of things.
Yeah.
And people get into the marriage and then they realize, oh, you know, I have low self-esteem, for instance, or I have anger issues, or I have you know, there are lots of things that you may have. You know, I have emotion, I don't know how to manage my emotions, and we
Yeah.
are not all understanding enough, and we are not ready to also seek for help. We feel we have arrived, we feel we are the best, and we are not seeking to get better. So when it's like that, it's so complicated. It's so
Exactly.
complicated.
It is. So if we all actually did work on ourselves before getting married, I think that would actually help. Just to know, do we have
Exactly.
self-esteem? You know, have I learned something in my childhood where I've seen one person be abused that I think that's the right way to correct someone? You know, things like that. If we all went and did the work, I think that, as you said, that would help. But I think a lot of
Yes.
people are not work, but and then they take that into marriage, take that into
Yes.
friendship,
Yes.
take that to
Yes.
work, is
Yes.
everything. And
Yes. 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 Yes.
so
And you know, sometimes we do things that we normally say that somebody that is hurt, somebody that is wounded, would definitely wound you. And
that's
that's how
true.
it works.
Yeah,
When you are wounded, you hurt, and you know, it's like a roller coaster. Somebody that is wounded will automatically wound someone else,
exactly.
and it's just unfortunate.
Mhm.
But when somebody is wounded and doesn't even want to get help, that is
Yeah,
the worst scenario, because the person will keep on hurting people. He'll be wounded, feeling pain, because the pain you are feeling, you feel everybody needs to feel that pain. So people
exactly.
need to really get back and understand each other,
Yeah,
understand situations. Sometimes when I see situations around me, maybe that's what also my this thing. I try to understand too much.
mm,
Why? What is the motive? Why is somebody behaving the way he's behaving? Why? Maybe this,
yeah,
maybe this.
mm,
Sometimes it's difficult to forgive automatically when it comes
yeah,
to those things, but at least it helps you see the bigger picture, because you are like, okay, this person is behaving this way because probably this happened, and to make the person understand
yeah,
that this may
yeah,
be his issue, it's
Mm-hmm.
the most complicated situation ever, because the person already is angry, and it's a lot of things. We need to work on ourselves, and working on oneself, sometimes you can't do it alone. You need help. You
Exactly.
really need help.
Love that. We need to work on ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes, we all do.
Yeah.
We can never be perfect. I think people don't
Never,
understand
never,
that.
never.
They think that, oh, I'm fine. It's never my fault. That
Yeah.
accountability is not there.
Yeah. Accepting, also being humble enough to realize that you are having
Exactly.
issues, being humble enough to say, okay, I'm not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I didn't do well, because, the truth is, we always hurt people, whether we like it or not. There will be
Exactly.
situations where, without wanting, we will hurt people.
Mm.
But in those situations, the best thing to do is realizing also that I've not done good. I've hurt
Yeah.
someone, and
Yeah.
taking the step to apologize, and working on yourself to get better.
Mm.
Those kind of people are the people that are, they are not perfect, but at least they are improving every day. We are
Yeah.
gonna enter a new year now. A lot of people are gonna say a lot of wishes, but the most important thing is to get better, to in your character, in your own heart,
Thank you.
realize that I've hurt so many people to this year
Exactly.
without wanting. Maybe I've been talking too much.
Mm.
I've exposed too many people's secrets without
Yeah.
wanting. This year that is coming, I want to keep my mouth shut. Okay,
Yeah.
I've hurt people, I've insulted too much. I've
Mm-hmm.
realized that the words that I say are not right. Maybe I
Exactly.
have too much jealousy in me,
Mm.
or I've kept too many people captive in my heart. I need to
Exactly.
forgive.
Yeah.
I need to be less jealous. I need to find strategies so that
Mm-hmm.
I'm not jealous at someone, because jealousy, the truth is, sometimes it's natural, whether you
Yeah.
like it or not. Sometimes you see someone, and the person, you didn't think that thing is gonna be that way for the person, and maybe
Mm.
you wanted the thing, and the person gets
Yeah.
it, whether you like it or not. Though, you'll feel something. You'll be like, it should have been me, but okay, congratulations. One thing that I do is that I always, when my mind starts playing games, and I'm like, oh, should have been me. I start telling myself, oh, this person. I start saying good things about a person. Oh wow, I'm happy for the person. And when it starts doing that, your mind is working, so that you see only the good for the person. So that's something that people can be doing, and those things you
Mm.
can learn it in therapy. You see,
Exactly.
so it all starts in working on your mind and
Mm-hmm.
getting better.
Yeah. Yes. So you have positive thoughts rather than
Yes,
negative all the
yes,
time,
yes,
you know,
yes.
which help you as well. But yeah, what I was going to say, so obviously there will be some difference. Like in the Western world, sometimes therapy can be free depending on charities and things like that, right? So in Africa, some people might think, oh, it's the money, like I can't afford it. But then that's when your NGO comes in, isn't it? Like, so how
Yes.
does
Yeah, with the NGO, we have a psychologist indoors that people can come and see freely. So depending on what they want, they come, and then they can just come and speak freely about the things they are going through. So that's what we do. Once in a month, they can come and see the psychiatrist also, that can help them with medication. And sometimes we donate medication based on the prescriptions they've given them. We help them buy their medications. We help them also with some people, we have a lot of people that are real vulnerable people, in terms of poverty. A lot of people are going through so much. Someone that can't find something to eat, you can ask the person to buy medication that costs also kind of a lot.
yeah.
So it's a lot of it's kind of complicated when people do not have enough money, and you are talking to them about mental health. They're like, what are you talking about? I don't even have what to eat. And even that is what is putting me in that situation. A lot of people tell us that they're like, I don't have anything to eat.
Yeah.
I am not working. I cannot find a job
Yeah.
because my state is making me this way. And how do you want me to take care of my mental health? You are telling me, you are giving me medicine. What am I gonna eat? And even before they feel stigmatized, it's a big field.
Mm.
Mental health is a big field, because there are so many things you need to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, I can see curiosity. They want to know if there are organizations yours in other African countries because so that people don't struggle with seeking that mental
Yeah, I think they should have. Actually, I think in Nigeria they do. In Ghana, I think so too, but I don't know. Probably they don't have the same services as we do. But I think to find a therapist, and that should be free. I don't think it's that complicated in Ghana, in Nigeria. I think
yeah.
you can find it easily. Now in other countries, I don't know that much.
Yeah, I think that's probably something we could all look into. Like everyone, we could find out what people know as well, and maybe I could see whether a list could be done, like in terms of
Yeah.
therapy. Like,
Yeah. I think I have there was a cartography that was made once. I'll check in my emails and see maybe I can forward it to you, and yeah.
oh, that would be good. Yeah, because I think right now people are probably like, okay, I want to go and I'm hoping that's what people are saying.
I hope so too.
Yeah, I think
It's very important.
maybe some people might I haven't seen that question, but some people might want to know the difference between a psychologist and a psychiatrist, because in
Okay.
Africa some people think, oh, if you're mentally ill, it's just you go to psychiatry, get medication, that's it. But now that we're talking about therapy, they started to understand a bit more.
Okay. So the psychiatrist is a doctor.
Yeah.
The psychiatrist is a doctor, is a medical doctor, just like a pediatrician, a cardiologist, is a psychiatrist, and he is specialized in mental illness. So when you get to the stage where you are ill, meaning you naturally you don't have the abilities to face some of those things, even when they ask you to do something, those exercises we are talking about, the homeworks we are talking about, you can do it naturally on yourself, on your own. It's important that you take medication to reduce the symptoms so that you can do the work now. So sometimes you have to go through medication and therapy. So those are the two things that you have to go through. But then we have the psychologists. They are just therapists. They are not doctors, even though they can have a PhD, but they are not medical doctors actually, and they won't give you medication. Psychologists don't give medication. They will speak with you. They will go through talk therapy. You will talk, and then they will give you exercises or homework and things you can do so that you can get better. So most of the work actually you are gonna do it yourself, but the person is helping you go through, is accompanying you and showing you, helping you realize, because the most important thing is happening in your mind, and nobody can get into your mind. Your mind,
Exactly.
you can do it yourself, but the person is going to help you to put your eyes on the most important things and work to get better. So that's the therapist, the psychologist. So some things you don't really need to see a psychiatrist. You may need just to see a psychologist, and you may need to just go through talk therapy. But when you are getting into the illness, when we are starting to talk about the illness itself, you may need a psychiatrist to help you work on the symptoms before you see a therapist as well.
Which is good. That's why we're trying to let people understand the psychology element of it, because from the beginning as well, if you seek that help, then it might not lead you further to psychiatry.
Exactly.
Do you know what I
When
mean?
you start seeing the first signs, it's important to see a therapist so that you don't have to get to the point where you have to go and take medications, because most time, because mental illnesses, most of it are chronic disease, so you have to take medication for a very, very long time. So if you don't want to get to that stage, it's important to go and see the therapist and play your white girl if you want, and go and see the therapist. People can tell you what they want. You just go and see your therapist and get better with yourself.
For me though, I think with me, because it was free, it was easier. So I think, but now that I think people know that it could be free, even in African countries, we've got to obviously find it. I think they'll be willing to try it now, because I think it will be less if people know that maybe it doesn't involve so much finances if they're struggling. So
but also I'm really encouraging people, it's also very important when they pay for it, because here in Africa, when people don't pay for something, they don't see the importance of it. They don't see the value. They just see it as I don't care. I don't need to take serious what this person is saying. And they don't even value the practice of a therapist.
Yeah.
So it's important that people see, when they have to pay for something, they see the value, they take it really serious, and they do what it needs they need to do. It's very important.
They do the activities associated. So
Yeah.
have you helped people with the activities as well, your organization?
Yes, we do a lot of, so what we do in my organization, actually, we do a lot of awareness raising. So we go to places, we organize events, we go to companies, we go to schools, we go on the media, television, radio, we do Facebook Lives. We talk about mental health, mental illness, the importance of taking care of your mental health and how to do so, which is very important. And we talk about all what we are talking about. We help people get to understand better what is mental health, because it's something that, whether you like it or not, is part of your life. And apart from that, we do also a lot. We help people living with mental illness. So we help them to get medication. We help them get through therapy. We help them see a psychiatrist and get their regular controls. We help families. Some people do not have anything. We help them start activities. We've also helped people that are living on the streets. Today, we've taken 12 women out of the streets, helped them gone through therapy. They've gone through to the hospital. They've taken their medication. Some people are still in the hospitals. Others have gone out. We've helped them start activities that will help them get something and feel also relevant, because that's something that is very important for your mental health, especially if you've gone through mental illness. A lot of people feel like they are not important to the society. So it's important that once imagine you've been in the street for so many years, and then just nobody really minds you. People pass, they don't really mind you. It's like they are indifferent to you. And then from the moment you go through to the hospital, you get better. It's important to help them develop their self-esteem and understand that they can also bring something to the humanity. They can bring something to society. So we help them start an activity, sell things, or, do those things. So today we have 12 women that we've helped. Some of them are still in the hospital. Others are starting their businesses. It's true that we have relapse sometimes. They go through relapse, but we have faith that with time, everyone is going to get better. We've helped about 100 people that are in families, in homes, going through mental illness, those that are not on the street, that we accompany through medication. And some people we help them with clothes, we help them with foodstuffs, because some of them are really in extreme poverty, and it's important to help them with such things. We help the families also, so that they get enough money, like through activities that they can get some money to help the person that is sick. So yeah, that's what we do. And we also we do how do you call it, support groups. We have support groups, whether for the families themselves, because it's so hard when you have someone living with mental illness in your family. It's so complicated. So it's very important to help those families, show them that we are there for them and that they are not alone in this battle. And that's also something that's very important for us, making them understand that they are not battling alone. Maybe for the past years they were alone, but until we are here, we want to go through it with them, show them that they are not alone. So most times when there's a relapse or something, they call us, we help them, we give them advice, we help them depending on the challenges. Sometimes they'll call you, this person, he's just trying to have commit suicide again, and then we go in and we try to educate them. Also, we do psychoeducation to the families so they can understand, because most families don't understand the importance of taking medication, for instance. So sometimes, because the person is getting better, they stop the medication and then they realize that there's a relapse. So it's important to help them understand that most of it's a chronic disease. They need to take the medication until the doctor says it's okay. You don't stop the medication. So yeah, we those are the things that we do. We do activities with them as well. Yeah, that's mainly what we do.
Oh my God, Peace, that's amazing. Well, you just saying what you do, I was like, wow. Like you said, 100 women from off the street, help them. It's so amazing. I think it's just, how do you actually get them to listen to you and agree for that help
when
when
they're
you
on the
see?
street.
Yeah, yeah. When they,
First of all, when we go to the street, we try to talk to them.
yeah,
We ask people around first if they are agitated,
mm,
or we observe, and we get close. We ask her if we can come closer. She says yes, and then we are like, "Oh, how are you? What's your name?
mm,
How long have you been here? What are you doing here? Where is your family?" Some people, they don't talk. Some others, they just like they just say all sort of things, and then we take informations from what they say, or we take informations from people around them, and from those informations we start looking for their families. And when we get the families, then with the help of the families, we bring the ambulance,
yeah,
and then we create like a bathroom, like a shower place outside there, so we cover the whole place, and we help them take a shower, we dress them properly, and then they get into the ambulance, and then the ambulance takes them to the hospital, and in the hospital they get their treatment, and we do the follow-up every time until they are stabilized, and then we go back and take them and bring them back to their families. And from there we go there, we do house visits, visit them from time to time to see how they are doing, are they getting better, and yeah, that's from there we start discussing with them the things they need to do, what do they want to do, what are the challenges they are facing. We encourage the families, and yeah, we help them in the ways that we can.
yeah. It's just amazing just listening to it. I mean, and that means that you're not making a profit, so it is just amazing
Yeah.
how supported as well. So, but I'm sure you need more support as well, is it?
Of course we do. Of course
Yeah,
we do. We need support because sometimes there are some people we can't help them because we don't have enough funds. We just need to do with those that we have.
yeah,
We have a system of sponsorship where people become like, we call them like sponsors or godfather or godmother of the person. So what we do is that they donate monthly. They
mhm,
donate monthly for a particular case, or they just say, okay, I want to donate to help the people. So monthly they give it for like a period of time. Some people donate for like a year, some people for 6 months to help a particular person. And during that time, what we do is that we help the person with medication, we observe the person, and we see how to help the person start an activity, because somebody cannot donate eternally. So we help the person start, or the family start an activity, so that after the period of the sponsorship, like the 1 year or the 6 months, the person can be, the family can be able to take over in terms of buying medication, at least, so that at least we know, because the medication is the most important. As much as the person is taking the medication and is following therapy, then the person, at least we are sure the person will be getting better. So like that's the system we have. Some people donate, just like, okay, we want to donate to the organization, so they give an amount of money to help the organization.
yeah.
But mainly it's also the sponsorship, like the parrainage that we call it in French, that help us to help people with the medication and all those things.
Oh, it's absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic. I just hope people will get therapy, as we said, because yeah, we all need to go on that
They
journey.
should. Everyone needs that. Someone may be listening to us and feel, okay, I'm not concerned. My dear, you are concerned. It's important for you to go through
Mm,
therapy. Sometimes you just need it to, as we are talking, maybe you don't know there's anything wrong, but just go to therapy, talk with someone, and you would see that maybe there's an aspect of your life that there is something you need to go through, and you just need that help at that time. Maybe it's not yet showing,
mm.
but you can anticipate and start working on it now.
And imagine all those ladies you helped on the street as well, right? Now,
Yeah.
if they're stable, they can get back to their lives again. Do you know what?
Yes, 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 yes. But there's a lot of stigma around those that are coming from the street. There's the fear of other people, what they would think. So there's a lot of therapy that they really need. They need
Yeah.
a lot of work on themselves. Imagine
Mm,
someone that was ill. He used to beat people on the street, or just used to do things that were not right. And the moment the person is okay, people still keep that image. What you do, people do not forget it. Or some people are like, I don't want you to sell me food. I don't want you to, like, if the person feels like, oh, I love cooking and I want to be selling on the street, people will be like, I'm not gonna buy your food because I know you as that person. I don't want to become like you, So there's all those things that need to be done. And the spiritual aspect of everything, where people spiritualize it so much, feeling, okay, this person you have done wrong, that's why you had that illness, and people feel that they can be contaminated.
Oh.
So it's a lot of work that
My
needs to be
dear,
done, but
my
yeah.
dear, it's still a lot we need to do. But yeah, I mean, I just had one more question, then you can give an advice, because we've come a long way with the time. Yeah, so like bipolar and other conditions, which ones do you think get misunderstood? Like in Africa or Togo or...
The truth is that here, people don't make the difference.
Yeah.
They don't make the difference. A lot of people, they just say mental illness. They don't know the difference. They don't know there are different mental illnesses. They don't know. So they just say mental illness. And it's either in their mind, it's just either you are very sick and you are having schizophrenia. So like they call you that one, they call those people that there's nothing you can do for them. So the women that we carry from the street, a lot of the people feel like there's nothing you can do for them anymore.
Wow.
They feel it's finished for you. So they see them on the street as it's over. There's no hope for you.
Yeah.
And there's the other side of it, where you see people that maybe they are going through depression. So you see a lot of people starting to say, when they see people a little bit sad, they start saying the person is depressed. And I'm like, hey, you need to make a difference between someone that is sad and someone that is going through depression.
True.
Because the moment you start using depressed as the same thing, a synonym of how do you call it, of sad, then it means that you are taking away the illness out of depression. Depression is an illness. When someone is sad, you just say, oh, don't worry, everything is going to be all right, and the person can start smiling, the person can start feeling better. But when somebody is depressed, it's not about just, oh, everything is going to be fine and the person is going to be fine. No. The person is going through a lot in his mind. The person needs really real therapy, and the person cannot just come out of it just like that. So a lot of people just feel like, if I tell you everything's going to be all right, or I motivate you, you are just going to come out of it. And it's not like that. So it's here, people don't really make the differences. And bipolar, even, they see it that, okay, when somebody just has, okay, today I'm happy, tomorrow I'm not happy, they say, oh, you are bipolar. And when they say that, I get angry, because I'm like, you don't say that. It's not just a matter of being sad today and tomorrow I'm happy. Bipolar is an illness. And the moment you start talking about it like that, the day somebody will be really having bipolar disorder, people will not take the person serious. And they'll feel the person can just come out of the sadness just like that. It doesn't work that way. Bipolar disorder is not a personality trait as such. It's an illness. The person is sick, and the person, he doesn't necessarily have that strength to just decide. Today you are so depressed, and tomorrow you are I've seen so many people in such conditions, and I'm like, oh my God, if people could make the difference, because they are friends today, you are happy tomorrow, this person is so bipolar, oh my God. And you're like, hey, bipolar is not an insult. Bipolar is not I don't know even what to say, People need to be careful with their words.
Exactly. The reason I brought that up was because there's actually an African movie about that illness. I think people don't understand, but anyway, it's crazy. But our last question, and then maybe you can look through the comments, will be, what advice do you have for anyone going through, let's just use the word challenges, because I don't want to say mental health illness, because some people don't even know if they've got mental health or not. Like struggles, where they just feel like they're not themselves.
Like what was the question again?
have for people going through challenges, life struggles,
What
where
advice?
they'll feel like, yeah, what advice?
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say the first thing is, ask for help. The
Yeah.
moment you realize you have an issue, just ask for help. Go seek for help. Do not seek the validation of anybody. Go ask for help, because you need to be in good state to be able to do whatever you have to do. The truth is, if your mental health is not okay, you can be productive. You can do the things you want to do. You can be fulfilled. So you need to really take care of your mental health. So the moment you see you are not okay,
Yeah.
start asking for help. Look for someone that you trust. Start talking to the person. And, start, at least the first step is talking about what you are feeling. So if you find someone that you trust, you can start talking to the person, and that liberates your heart a lot. And from there, if after talking to that person you are still not okay, go look for a therapist and go through therapy happily and come out so happy and fulfilled. And when you come out of there, you will even do more than what you did before. So, like,
Exactly.
be happy and live your
Mm,
life. Nobody should, if like you are bleeding right now, the first thing you do is not that you are going to start closing yourself in the room. No, you will quickly go out. And one advice I'll give people is stop judging. Stop,
thank that.
minimizing things that people are feeling. Stop,
Mm,
because you don't have that issue doesn't mean people do not go through those things. Stop judging. I'm
yeah.
not okay. I'm not okay.
Mm,
It is me that's feeling it. You can't keep judging me and belittling whatever I'm feeling. If I'm
yeah.
not okay, maybe I fail.
Mm,
Maybe I did something terrible. Maybe I'm just not okay. I don't know what is wrong with me.
yeah.
But even if I can't put a word on it, whatever I'm feeling is valid and I need help. So you
Yeah.
can't stop someone from asking for help. So please, people, stop that. Let people ask for help and go forward in their lives. That's something very important. Yeah.
Thank you for that bit, because that's why people are scared, the judgment. So I'm glad you brought that out. Feel free to go for therapy. It's
Yeah.
important. Yes.
Very.
Yeah. So can we read some of the comments? Can you see comments, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I'm
Can you see?
trying to
Yeah.
see it
Maybe
here.
you can pick whatever ones you want,
A lot
because
of African people need sensitization, learning about mental health, because a lot has little and no knowledge about mental health. Okay. Your organization found in all African countries? No, I'm sure there are other organizations.
yeah, you
Money
can
is the problem for us. In Africa, when you talk about mental health, they usually associate it with madness, because most people don't understand exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. That madness word that we also need to stop,
I,
isn't it?
I,
Like
I
that's
tell them,
this.
I always say, do not say that word. Some people, when they want to talk about mental illness or something, then they just start making their hand. I'm like, don't do it. When they start like, don't do it. Anywhere I
Yeah,
go, when someone starts doing, oh, that those people, I says, don't do it. Now they call
yeah.
it, this is friends, your friends. And I say, yeah, they are my friends. Yeah, they are my friends. No problem. Call them my
Wow. Yeah.
friends. People are crazy.
People are crazy. Like, well, that means they're all our friends since we've all been to therapy. So
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. I don't know if there's a question again. Okay. Have you found a question?
Do you see? I think Christy must have said something. Did it disappear?
What are the activities you do through your nonprofit to break stigma? Yeah. As I said, we do awareness raising, a lot of awareness raising, and we do a lot of donation activities in centers. I didn't talk about that. We
Oh,
go
God.
to the center, like we take a lot of volunteers. We go to a center and then we bring a lot. We take a big truck with donations like foodstuffs, clothes, toiletries, medication, and things. And we arrive in the center, we bring food so that we eat with them. So we
Oh,
come
nice.
to break the stigma, actually, to make them feel loved, because some of them have been abandoned by their families for years.
Oh,
So we've gone to almost 9 centers now. 8 or 9 centers since 2017.
Yeah.
And we've been, we bring those teens and we spend time with them. We play. This year, actually, on the 15th of August of every year we do that. And this year we went to a center. We had this drawing board. We draw with them. We had games that we played, and they will win things. We brought a lot of food stuff, and we always do that just to spend time, and also to help the volunteers understand more what it is, and that, people that you think they also have feelings. They want to be loved, and they also want to give love. So it's important to, just be happy and spend time with everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. So, yeah, please, any last words, or that's it from you?
Yeah. I would say again and again, do not feel bad to ask for help. You can go for therapy. Do not look at anyone before going there, because you become a better version of yourself. Everyone wants to get better, and the key is to get better if you can get it yourself, because some people, they have natural resilience, but not everybody has that. If you can't get the key, sometimes you need help. Someone
Yeah.
can fall and stand up automatically. Someone else will fall, will need someone to pull him up. So do not feel bad to need someone to help you get back. I did that, and I'm so happy today. So I believe you can do it too, and you can be happy also.
Yes, and just to add, I did that and I'm happy today. So you can. Yeah.
Exactly.
Um, please say thank you to Peace. Peace, thank you so much for coming. I'm sure we've all learned a lot. And yeah, I really appreciate what you do. So yes, that's hands from above. So yes, honestly, like, I'm so happy with what you're doing, and thank you for educating a lot of people.
Thank
And
you.
I've learned as well, and I think we've all learned, and we'll continue to learn, and hopefully we can keep doing this work as well, because I think it's going to help make a lot of changes for the better. But yeah,
Thank you
so
so
thank
much
you.
for having me.
Yeah. All right, bye.
Bye.
Everyone. Bye.